Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this chapter describes the demigods regain the heavenly planets. As you are aware, the episode is being narrated by Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj about the Supreme Lord who incarnated as Vamandev. He appeared for the sake of favoring the Devatas, whose mother Aditi prayed to the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu agreed to actually appear as her own son, and he appeared as Vamandev, a dwarf brahmachari boy, and he went to the sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj, and Bali Maharaj he begged in charity. So Bali Maharaj, impressed by the effulgence and the wonderful appearance of this bright brahmachari Brahmana boy, Bali Maharaj welcomed him and said, I can offer you charity. So kindly ask whatever you want to have from me, because I am the Lord of the three planetary systems. So the Supreme Lord, posing as a young brahmachari, he asked for 3 steps of land. And then Shukracharya objected to Bali Maharaj giving away this promised charity. And Shukracharya explained that this boy is actually Vishnu, who has disguised himself and come on behalf of the enemy. And he is making a plea of asking for 3 steps of land, but actually he is going to take away everything that you have. He will take away all the 3 planetary systems. So be careful. You haven't yet promised him. So you can, even if you think in your mind you have decided to actually offer this charity, you can go back on your promise. And Shukracharya cited some Shastra, Bhavricha Shastra. And he justified how Bali Maharaj, in order to protect his life and his property, can actually deny this brahmachari charity that was promised under the extraordinary circumstance. But Bali Maharaj, when he came to know, oh, he is Vishnu, who has personally come to ask charity from me. So he decided, I am going to give charity to this Lord Vishnu, because Bali Maharaj was a great devotee of Vishnu. A great devotee of Vishnu. So as a devotee, it was natural for him when he came to know, oh, it's Vishnu who has come disguised. Then definitely I will offer him the promised charity. Even if I lose my possessions, it doesn't matter. And then Bali Maharaj actually offered, and Shukracharya cursed Bali Maharaj for going against his guru's advice. Bali's guru was Shukracharya. So going against Shukracharya's advice, Bali was cursed But Bali Maharaj did not mind the curse at all. And then what happened? After that, the Supreme Lord, when he got the permission from Bali Maharaj to take the charity, he expanded himself. And with one step, he covered all the earth and the lower planetary systems. And the second step, he extended to cover the upper planetary systems up to the coverings of the universe. And in this way, he said, Vamandev said, who had now expanded himself to cover the entire universe, he is called Trivikrama. He expanded his steps to cover the entire universe. And he asked Bali Maharaj, where is your promised third step? You promised me 3 steps of land, and you cannot go back on your promise. Otherwise, you are punishable if you go back on your promise to give me 3 steps of land. So Bali Maharaj very humbly offered his own head. He said, all my possessions are taken away in charity by you, but I myself, now I offer myself in charity to you. So then actually Vamandev was very pleased with Bali Maharaj in his heart. But externally he posed as if he is going to actually arrest Bali Maharaj. Immediately the associates of Lord Vamandev, all the Devatas, headed by Nanda, Sunanda, so many associates, they all appeared and they actually arrested Bali Maharaj. But nonetheless, the Supreme Lord placed his third step on the head of Bali Maharaj, and Bali Maharaj became blessed by the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And then Bali Maharaj actually offered wonderful prayers to the Supreme Lord. And after Bali Maharaj offered his prayers, then Prahlad Maharaj appeared on the scene. And Prahlad Maharaj glorified the Supreme Lord and offered wonderful prayers himself. And then Brahma requested the Supreme Lord, kindly release this Bali Maharaj. He has been punished sufficiently. He doesn't deserve any more punishment from your hands. In fact, devotees, they simply make a small offering of a little flower or leaf or little water, and they're able to gain the Vaikuntha planet. So what to speak of this Bali? He has surrendered everything, including his own life, to you. Kindly release it. So when the Supreme Lord heard these words from Brahma and the glorification by Prahlad Maharaj, the Supreme Lord is very pleased actually with Bali. So then the Supreme Lord actually glorified Bali Maharaj. He glorified Bali Maharaj as actually giving in charity. And he offered that Bali Maharaj actually is not a loser. He will be awarded by me the Sutala Loka, which will be personally protected by me, and nobody can disturb Bali Maharaj and his associates when they live in Sutala Loka. And the opulence of Sutala Loka will be greater than the opulence of the heavenly planet, Indra Loka, be greater than that. And Bali Maharaj will live there for rest of this Manvantara. And in the next Manvantara, Bali will be elevated to the position of Indra. And this is guaranteed by the Supreme Lord himself. So, when the Supreme Lord actually offered this to Bali Maharaj, then Bali Maharaj actually offered prayers to the Supreme Lord and went away to the Sutala Loka along with all his associates. So that is the description we have come to, this third verse, today's third verse in this chapter. Shukadeva Goswami is describing Bali Maharaj offered his obeisances first to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, and then to Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. See, the obeisances are offered not only to the Supreme Lord but to his devotees also. So among the foremost devotees who were present there, Brahma and Shiva, the topmost devatas, they are worshipable along with the Supreme Lord as his devotee. Vishnu Bhaktas Smrito Daiva. So they're all Vishnu Bhaktas, Brahma, Shiva, and all the other devatas. So the devotee, perfect devotee, Bali Maharaj, he offered his obeisances first to the Supreme Lord, then to Lord Brahma, then Lord Shiva. And he was released from the bondage of Nagapasha, the ropes of Varuna. And in full satisfaction, he entered the planet known as Sutala. See, he was completely happy that the Lord had personally awarded this wonderful place, Sutala Loka, and the Lord has agreed to become his protector, his doorkeeper, so that nobody will disturb Bali Maharaj. Anybody attempts even to disturb Bali Maharaj, they will be completely destroyed by the Supreme Lord himself. And Bali Maharaj will be able to always see constantly the Supreme Lord protecting Bali as well as his associates in that Sutala Loka. So then the description continues, thus having delivered the proprietorship of heavenly planets to Indra, that is what the Supreme Lord had promised to Aditi. So the Supreme Lord fulfilled the desire of Aditi, the mother of the demigods, and he ruled the affairs of the universe. It is the Supreme Lord himself who is actually the proprietor of all the planetary systems, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. But then generally his representatives rule the different planets, the different planetary systems, etc. But now the Supreme Lord himself has taken charge of ruling the affairs of the universe. So then it is described, when Prahlad Maharaj heard how Bali Maharaj, his grandson, Bali Maharaj is the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj, the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, had been released from bondage and had achieved the benediction of the Lord. Then Prahlad spoke in a tone of greatly ecstatic devotion. See, Prahlad Maharaj himself is a pure devotee. Bali Maharaj, the grandson of Prahlad, is also a pure devotee. So these pure devotees, when they speak in glorification of the Supreme Lord, they are overwhelmed by ecstatic devotion, bhava, bhavapurna. It is described here. Nishamya bhakti pravanaha. In full ecstatic devotion, bhakti pravanaha. The stages of development of bhakti includes bhava and prema. Prema is the highest development of this bhakti. And before prema comes bhava. Bhava is that ecstatic devotion. So with ecstatic devotion, Prahlad Maharaj spoke. What did he speak? I have read 3 verses here, 6, 7 and 8, which were spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. So I will just mention what Prahlad Maharaj said, offered in prayers. He said, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, You are universally worshipped. Supreme Lord is universally worshipped. Even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva worship your lotus feet. Shiva Virinchinutam. This is the statement in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. Of course, the statement is also here. Prahlad Maharaj is telling here, I think such kindness has never been achieved by Lord Brahma, has never been achieved by Lord Shiva, has never been achieved even by the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. Neither Brahma nor Shiva nor goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, have achieved this favor, this kindness of the Supreme Lord. What to speak of other demigods or common people? That means nobody has achieved this kind of favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which has been bestowed upon the demons headed by Bali Maharaj. So this is very, 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 very special. So the word used here is Durgapala. In this verse, 6th verse, the word Durgapala, that which does not go very easily. Durga means that which does not go easily. That which is very difficult to obtain. With great difficulty, such things can be obtained. So this protection Bali Maharaj and his associates receive from the Supreme Lord against all dangers. This is very, very, very difficult to achieve. Even for somebody like Brahma, Shiva, or even the goddess of fortune. Of course, we know that the Supreme Lord is always protecting the devotees, especially the devotees headed by Brahma, Shiva, and Lakshmi. But here it is mentioned that this fortune has never been bestowed upon even these great personalities. Now the description continues that, O Supreme Shelter of everyone. This is actually the Supreme Lord being addressed by Prahlad Maharaj. Supreme Shelter of everyone. Who's the Supreme Lord? He is the Supreme Shelter of everyone. Even great personalities like Brahma enjoy their perfection simply by tasting the honey of rendering service at your lotus feet. You see, your lotus feet actually is the object of service by great personalities like Brahma. Great personalities like Brahma, they achieve perfection simply by rendering service to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Now here it is described that devotees like Brahma are able to taste the nectar of the service to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. But what about us, all the demons who are rogues and debauchees born in an envious family of demons? By birth, it is explained that due to one's past misdeeds, one is born in an envious family of demons, or by past pious activities, one takes birth in the family of pious people who are generally saintly in behavior, who are divine natured devatas, Daiva and Asura, two swabhavas. These swabhavas are taken by birth itself. And that is explained in the Bhagavad Gita in Dvaubhuta Sargau Lokesmin Daiva Asura Evacha. That by birth in a particular type of with a particular type of mentality, the Daiva or the Asura Swabhava is taken on by a particular person who is taking birth in the family of saintly persons or in the family of demons. So by birth, the demons, they are all actually born with enviousness towards the Supreme Lord. So how have we received your mercy that you are personally protecting us? How have we received this mercy? So that is explained here. It has been possible only because your mercy is causeless. This requires explanation. Causeless mercy. Causeless mercy means the mercy that is bestowed by the Supreme Lord upon anyone does not have a specific cause. Therefore, it's called causeless, without a cause. Generally, our understanding is the Supreme Lord is kind to one who is devoted to Him. So it always appears like that. No? The Devatas, they are devoted to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the Lord reciprocally is actually protecting the Devatas. He is favoring the Devatas. He always takes the side of the Devatas, like that. So that is thought of as natural. The natural for somebody in this material world who always goes by a cause. If you are nice to me, I'll be nice to you. If you are not nice to me, then I may not be nice to you. It's not expected I'll be nice to you. So how is it that these demons who are by nature envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are receiving this favor that they are personally protected by the Lord? So the next verse, the 8th verse, describes, Prahlad Maharaj himself describes this. He says, "O my Lord, your pastimes are all wonderfully performed by your inconceivable spiritual energy." This protecting the asuras is actually a pastime of the Supreme Lord. It is described here as a pastime of the Supreme. Pastime means it is under the inconceivable spiritual energy. All pastimes of the Lord, all activities of the Lord, all transcendental activities are under the inconceivable spiritual energy. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. Those who are Mahatmas, those who are devotees, those who are surrendered souls to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are always under the protection of the Daivim Prakritim Ashrita. This Daivi Prakriti refers to this inconceivable spiritual energy, Achintya, Yoga Maya. It is Yoga Maya. And by her perverted reflection, the material energy, you have created all the universes. See, even creation of the universes is a pastime of the Supreme Lord, who acts by his different energies. So one energy, the spiritual energy, is simply meant for all spiritual affairs, all spiritual interactions, all spiritual benedictions, all spiritual activities of the Lord, of the pure devotees, the spiritual energy. And the material energy is a reflection of that spiritual energy. Even though it is a reflection, material energy is employed by the Supreme Lord to create the universes. Now, after creating the universes, what does the Lord do? He enters as the super soul of all living entities in these universes. Every universe, he enters as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Then every planet he enters to sustain life on the planet. And then every living entity's heart, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto. So he enters into the heart of every living being as a super soul. And then as super soul, he is aware of everything. And therefore, certainly you are equal toward everyone. Seated as a super soul, the Supreme Lord is equal to everybody. nonetheless you favor your devotee. See, even though the Supreme Lord is seated equally in the heart of every living being as a super soul, and he is equal to everybody. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priya. He says this in the Bhagavad Gita also. And in this statement here, you are certainly equal toward everyone as a super soul. But nonetheless, you favor your devotee. Why? Why does the Lord favor his devotees? This is not partiality, however. This immediately clarified by Prahlad Maharaj, that this is not partiality, being favorable to his devotees. How? For your characteristic is just like that of a desire tree which yields everything according to one's desire. Now the Lord is compared to a desire tree, Kalpataru. Kalpataru swabhavaha. Bhakta priyo yadasi kalpataru swabhavaha. What is this Kalpataru swabhava? In the spiritual world, we learn from the Brahma Samhita, there are desire trees. Desire tree means you stand under a desire tree and you desire whatever you desire, that the desire tree will supply. So the Lord is like that towards his devotees. So if whatever the devotee desires, the Lord fulfills that desire without any exception, without any differentiation. He fulfills all the desires of the devotees. So then, who can be a devotee of the Supreme Lord? That is explained. Anyone can be a devotee of the Supreme Lord. Everyone can become a devotee of the Supreme Lord. Actually, the scriptures say everyone is a devotee. It is just in forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord that one behaves inimically towards the Supreme Lord, or forgets the Supreme Lord, or is envious towards the Supreme Lord, or tries to imitate the position of the Supreme Lord by trying to take his position, etc., etc. So all this is simply due to the independent desire of the living being, who, due to his independent desiring nature, desires to actually become envious of the Supreme Lord, go against the Supreme Lord, try to be independent of the Supreme Lord, etc., etc. So this point here is that the Supreme Lord is equal to everybody, and he actually offers a shelter to everybody at his lotus feet. Everybody. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. When he says Sarva dharman parityajya, it means all religious principles which are coming in the way of surrender to the Supreme Lord. Krishna says, give up all those religious principles and simply take shelter of my lotus feet. And then he says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. He says, do not worry, do not fear, do not have any doubt whether I will give you protection. I will protect you against all sinful reactions. So that favor of the Supreme Lord is like a desire tree. Like anybody goes to a desire tree, then whatever they desire, they get. Now they cannot actually say that, oh, I am not getting this, I am not getting that. No. Whatever they desire. So what happens actually, according to karma, every living being desires a certain type of enjoyment, and according to their desire for a particular type of enjoyment, the Supreme Lord fulfills those desires for enjoyment. Now, in the course of the living entity trying to enjoy, he may undergo distress or happiness or mixed happiness and distress. This is explained in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Anishtam, ishtam, mishram cha. Always, for a living being in this material world, there is anishtam, that which is undesirable, which is generally called distress. And ishtam, that which is desirable, that is, which is called happiness. And mishram, and the combination or the mixture of the two, happiness and distress. So this is always the characteristic of material existence. And it is the Supreme Lord's arrangement that every living being who's a conditioned soul in this material world is actually awarded happiness or distress, or a combination of happiness and distress according to their own desires. Therefore, it is important to understand, if I properly desire, then I can be completely blissful, I can be completely protected, I can be completely sheltered by the Supreme Lord without any danger, just like the demons, unexpected, that they are getting shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Exactly like the demons have got, the same way anyone can get. Anyone can become a devotee. Anyone can get the favor of the Supreme Lord. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.